from all your experience of being in the playoff and the postseason, and this will be obviously your first time with the Astros, what is different of this particular Astro team, and what is your expectation in this postseason? And if you could answer in Spanish, it will be lovely, but if you can't, I understand. I have to talk.
Okay. It's better to get it started and get me tired right away. So, no hay mucho diferente de esto juega, pero la gente aquí en el equipo crea mucho a ganar y tenemos mucha fuerza y creemos en el corazón y mental también y ellos están muy juntos. Tiene mucho amor con ellos y crea mucho.
Can you give that to us in English, Dusty, please?
Okay. I tell you, you're going to make me tired like right away. Because if I got to think in Spanish, then it's hard. I mean, no, I'm not a natural. Like I really admire the Latin players for doing, English interviews. Because you really try to do it correctly. But what I said was these guys, they believe in each other. They have a lot of love for each other. And they are together, and the more together you are, then the better that you play.
In the middle on the left there.
Hi, Dusty. Christy Rican from the Associated Press. Have you solidified your rotation for the rest of the series?
Yes, we have, but we're not going to announce it today yet until we make sure that everybody's healthy, make sure everybody's well. Because, there's been some illness going around, actually in the state and in the world and here in Houston. So we're going to just make sure that everybody's well before we announce it.
Okay, right here in the front.
Hey, Dusty, Mark Berman from Fox. The significance of having Justin Verlander go for you in Game 1.
Well, I mean, this guy, he knows he knows what it's about. And, he's been the horse many times. We're so glad to have him. I mean, this guy is, one of the leaders on the team. Guys follow him, and guys feel very, very confident, and with him on the mound. And he's a very confident young man, and we feel very fortunate to have him.
We'll go on the far right, Dusty, in the middle.
Hey, Dusty. Chandler Rome with the Houston Chronicle. It would seem that whoever you play, it would seem that your decisions at DH and left field kind of go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. Kind of how do you view those two spots going into this, and would you like one person to kind of solidify left field?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, nobody's really solidified it, especially since Michael's been out. I mean, that hurt a lot, losing Michael Brantley that nobody mentions, but, we go on who's pitching for us. Also, the possibility of having to put somebody in for defense or having to pinch run for somebody. I mean, you hate to take your big bats out of there, but also the fact that, how well, Jordan has played left field, and, I mean, he's played left field. I call him Golden Glove because he's come a long ways from the time when I got here. And he's playing Golden Glove left field, but all anybody sees is how he hits. But I also have to, his ankle's fine, but I also got to be cognizant of, like day after night or whatever, because we got to keep him healthy and make sure he's getting to the plate.
Go in the second row on the far left, Dusty.
Dusty, Brian Smith, Houston Chronicle.
Yes.
You're obviously familiar with the Mariners. I mean, you're playing them all the time throughout the year, but they've kind of been a different team this year. They're hot right now. Mm-hmm. What have you seen from them this year that makes them maybe more challenging than they've been in the past?
Well, when they were under 500 earlier, everybody was concerned, and I told them that they would, that they were going to be here. Because I know they got talent. It's a long race, and they were without Haniger, and now they've added Castillo. I mean, those are two big weapons. But they're the same good, well-motivated team they were before. And, they know us pretty well, and we know them pretty well. So, hey, it's going to be a great series.
Go in the middle to the right, in the back there.
Brian McTaggart, MLB.com. How do you view your center field situation, and do you still expect Dubon to start with Verlander on the mound?
No, probably not. They just need, some more offense, possibly. And, we got our lineup, but, we'll announce it tomorrow after we, solidify our team and figure out who we're going to keep. And so I'll do pretty much what I've done, most of the year. You try to do what you do and what you think is the best lineup on that day. And, center field has kind of been a round robin of who I think should play against whoever we have pitching, the ballpark we're in, the speed, who we have pitching against us. I mean, it's been challenging not having one person, but that's part of the job.
Go on the third row on the left over here.
Adam Spillane from Sports Radio 610. With the way the series is laid out, where you have off days after games 1 and games 2, does that change how you would construct your roster, especially in terms of how many pitchers you might need?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, that's true. Because it really helps both bullpens stay fresh, especially when you have play one, then day off, play another, and then you got to construct it for the possibility of 3 days in a row at the last 3, and also one being a travel day. So yeah, it does. And a 5-game series is different than a 7, and 5 is different than a 3. And so yeah, it does make a difference in how you construct your lineup. Yes, I mean especially your pitching.
Go in the second row here in the middle.
Hey, Dusty. Kim Davis from Chalk Talk.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier a little bit about Brantley. Can you just talk about how this team has been able to, especially even offensively, kind of rebound with missing a guy like a Brantley all year? And, of course, we've talked about missing Correa.
Well, I mean, Correa's been more or less offset by the production of Pena. He's done a great job. Brantley, I mean, there's another, premier left-handed bat leader on the field. And, we are right-handed strong. And like I said, when Brantley was there, he would offset a right-handed pitcher, especially. I mean, he'd offset everybody, but especially right-handed pitching. And, he was a guy that would get on base, put the pitcher to stretch, and, hit those tough pitchers. And so, we have mentioned Michael, plus he's one of the best base runners that we had. He's probably one of the best outfielders that we had, and one of the best just ball players, period, and he's big on this team. I mean, that's why I'm glad he came back after his operation to be with his teammates, because these guys, they depend on, he's not called Uncle Mike for nothing, because they depend on him. And they know that they can go to him, and I feel confident that these guys, I urge them to go to him, because they know that they will get an honest answer for whatever question they may have.
Go in the middle on the right.
Following up on that, Dusty, what have you liked about Pena in the 2-hole and just kind of the pitches he's seeing there? And I know since he made the adjustment, he is hitting a lot better last 3 or 4 weeks. But what do you like about him up there?
Number one, I ask them all in the beginning, where do they like to hit? And everybody has a preference of where they've hit a lot of times in their life, because I always bat lead off 3rd or 5th. I hit it number 4. And so, him batting in front of your Don, hopefully, he'll get more fastballs, which most young hitters like. Some of it's just out of necessity, and their second hitter, which I've urged him to be, which is a lot on the defensive side of rookie shortstop and a lot on the offensive side, where, where your second hitter has to be, one of the smartest hitters in your lineup. And so he's really, carried a lot on his shoulders, but I think that he was, one of the best because him down in the lineup, he's going to see more breaking balls. You know what I mean? And he has the ability to, to steal. He's a good base runner. So it's kind of a work in progress. But I mean, this guy is really, he's a smart kid, and he's made some tremendous adjustments in a short period of time.
Going to the far right in the back.
Chancellor Johnson, KPRC. Dusty, Jose Altuve has been so good for you guys as a leadoff hitter. What does it do for your offense when a guy can get on a pitcher really early on in the game, and what does that say about him as a hitter?
Well, I mean, number one, he thinks he can hit. Number two, his background, he's been hitting all his life. And he not only has speed, but he has power at the same time. There aren't many leadoff hitters like Jose Altuve that can have enough speed to steal if you walk them or get on, or have enough power to, to hit the ball out of the ballpark early and put you up 1-0. It's more in the vein of like a Ricky Henderson or Lou Brock or some of these guys. I'm talking about some great Hall of Fame type players, and so we certainly love it when he's in the lineup, and we got a big hole when he's not.
Go right next to Chancellor back there in the back right.
Given Seattle has so many lefties in the lineup, do you expect to carry a lefty in the bullpen?
Well, we're trying to decide that now, and I only have one vote, so we get in the room and we'll decide, what we need or what's best for us.
Go one more here in the second row.
Skip, James Montgomery, KCOH Radio. James Montgomery, KCOH Radio.
What's your nickname?
Mr. Baseball.
Okay.
Want to know, with the change in the playoff format, and now that you've had the bye, pretty much the bye, how has this bye affected the team's preparation, if it has at all?
Well, we really don't know the effects of it, and we really don't know the effects of being off, and we'll find out here soon. The one thing that it's done is let us set our pitching as much as anything. That's the one positive. We don't know if rust or being off that long. We won't know until we get into it, because I've been on both scenarios where I've clinched early or eliminated somebody early and had a few days off. But I've also seen some positive things come out of that. But I've also seen some positive things come out of not having any time off. Just staying on it. So I don't know how it's going to affect them, but we'll see how it affects us, if anything.
Thanks a lot, Dusty.
All right, thank you.
Jose Altuve will be in a second.
Can you kind of go into how much more of a complete player Alvarez is, maybe, than he gets credit for, just with his defense and kind of his plate discipline and kind of how good of a hitter he is?
No, absolutely. I think he's way better than what everybody thinks. He shows up every day, and obviously he's a great hitter. His numbers shows that, but he's actually made some good plays on the other side, left field, and he can run. I saw him scoring from second many times and from first. And for me, he's obviously one of the best overall players out there.
Go on the far left, third row.
Hi, Jose. I know you've obviously been in the playoffs a lot of times. Do you still get excited and amped up this time of year to have another chance at chasing a title?
No, 100%. I don't think it matters how many playoffs you have. It's always going to be kind of like opening day. You always get excited. You feel a little anxious to go out there and play and win some games. So yeah, I think I'm excited. The whole team is excited, and that's a good thing.
Going to the middle on the right, Brian.
After playing beside Correa for all those years, how do you think Pena has stepped into his role, and just how have you seen him develop and mature throughout the season?
No, he did really good. I think 122 homers in his rookie season. That's amazing. He played good defense. He wants more. He wants to learn. He wants to get better. And for me, that's all he matters. I know he's going to go out there and give everything he has, and he's going to help us to win some games.
We'll go over on the left here.
Jose, this is your 12th year here, 7 out of the last 8 years in the playoffs. Have you thought about, especially with some of the other guys who've come and gone, have you thought about at this point trying to only play for the Astros? I mean, would you like to have this be the only team that you play for in Major League Baseball? How do you view that as you get into kind of the second stage of your career?
No, absolutely. I think, this is my second home. I was born in Venezuela, but Houston is, like I said, my second home. The city, the fans, my teammates, the whole organization is just amazing. And hopefully I want to stay here all my career.
Stay in the second row with Adam.
Adam Winkler, ABC 13 here in Houston. Jose, we've seen some signage around there. Unfinished business. Obviously, that's the goal, to win another title. But you need 11 wins to get there. Can you take us through maybe the excitement of launching this journey, but still realizing it's just the start of a process?
No, absolutely. I think we're excited about tomorrow, but we also know we got to play one game at a time. It's 11 more wins, but you can't think too far. It's just about tomorrow, the first step, and then we can go from there.
Okay, we'll go in the front row right here. Sure.
Jose Luis Ortiz de Telemundo. Sometimes in the playoffs, it's not about the best team with the best record. You saw the Mets yesterday get knocked off. Sometimes about the hottest team who's peaking at the right time, right? You see the Mariners, first time in the playoffs for 21 years. They have that momentum going on. How dangerous can this team be? If you can please answer in Spanish, please.
No, I think you said it. It's the team that plays better. Not always the best team is going to win it all. And, yeah, the Mariners are a good team. Obviously, that's why they're here. That's why they won in 2 games in Toronto. Yeah, we got to play a good game against them and, just make the plays, try to hit, score more runs than them, and, just go to the next series.
¿Me puedes contestar en español, por favor?
Sí, claro. Como lo dijiste, no siempre el mejor equipo va a ganar. Es el que esté un poco más caliente. Lo vimos con los Marineros en Toronto. Jugaron muy buena pelota. No es acerca de quién puede ser el héroe, acerca de ganar sin importar quién lo haga. Ellos lo hicieron y por eso están en la segunda ronda.
Stay here in the front row.
Francisco Veloz, de Grupo Fórmula. Dando seguimiento a lo que está preguntando el compañero acerca de, obviamente, la meta, que es ganarlo todo y cómo llegar a ella. Pero más que nada, quisiera yo preguntarte, 2 veces, aparte de 2017 que se llegó y se ganó esa meta, pero se llegó a la Serie Mundial 2 veces y no se pudo ganar. ¿Qué lecciones dejan esas 2 experiencias, que al final de cuentas son experiencias de juego, de vida, para que puedan utilizar esas lecciones y poder aplicarlas en esta postemporada?
O sea, yo creo que todas las series son diferentes, de equipos diferentes, jugadores diferentes. No sé si como equipo se puede aprender de series mundiales que se perdieron. Lo que te puedo decir es que tenemos la mente fresca, queremos empezar de cero. Ni siquiera estamos pensando en la serie mundial todavía. Es un transcurso largo antes de llegar allá. Son 7 victorias, creo que hay que obtener, pero hay que empezar con una mañana que va a ser la más importante para nosotros.
You say the answer in English, please, Jose.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about World Series. I basically said that we need to win tomorrow before thinking beyond that. Obviously, we all want to win the World Series, but I think the most important game we have right now is tomorrow, and then we're going to go from there.
Thank you. We'll go in the front row over here.
Jose, Mark Berman from Fox here. It's an obvious question, but what does it mean to you and your teammates to have Justin Verlander out there in Game 1?
It means a lot. He's just amazing, the way he pitched, the way he came back from injury. He's the right guy to have out there in Game 1, and we feel pretty confident about him, and we know what he's capable to do, and we all know he's going to go out there and be him.
Go in the third row on the left. Did you still have some?
Sorry, Jose. At the start of spring training, we asked your shortstop what it meant to make his own name, to not be Carlos Correa's replacement, but to show his own identity. How have you guys helped him through that so that he doesn't have to worry about trying to live in Carlos Correa and just be Peña?
I think he's making his own name, and as a team, we have a little easier with him because he's a guy that shows up every day, open to learn. He's probably the most humble guy you can ever play with, and like I said, for me, just the fact that he really wants to get better, he wants to learn, he cares about the game. It's just everything you need from a guy like him to get better and to play the way he's playing right now.
Go in the middle on the right.
Jose, you were at the top of the league as far as leadoff home runs. How would you describe what it's like to jump on a pitcher early and help set that tone? And what can you share about maybe your approach early in the ball game like that?
I think that's the kind of player I've been all my career, swinging early and late and in the middle. I like to swing the bat and just try to get one pitch I can really hit, and just I don't even trying to hit homers. I just trying to hit the ball hard and get on base. I have great hitters behind me. Got Jeremy, Jordan, Tucker, Braggy, then Julian. You can go all the way there. So I feel pretty comfortable about just getting on base and swinging the bat anytime.
Go all the way in the back.
Jose, every team has a different personality. You've been here with so many different groups. How is this team's personality heading into the playoffs, maybe as opposed to some other ones? And what have you gathered about this group this year that could lead to this successful run? Even though it's a different group from a couple of years ago, we still have the good chemistry, the good relationship. And like every year, we only talk about winning games. It doesn't matter who's going to be the hero tomorrow or the next day. We really need to put things together and win games. That's all we're thinking right now, and we have good players, and I think we can make it happen.
Go on the back left, Jose.
Hey, Jose. Aaron Goldsmith with the Mariners broadcast crew. You've competed against the Mariners your whole career, and you've seen the Seattle Mariners take on a lot of different forms, a lot of different players. This year has been the best Mariners team that you've competed against. I'm curious, from your vantage point, what has made them the best team that you've seen since you've been an Astro?
No, absolutely. This year's team is the best I ever played against, and they look good, obviously. And I think what I see is a lot of union, a lot of chemistry going on there. I think they're playing kind of like our same game, not be the heroes, just play to win. And when you play to win, good things happen, and they're showing what they can do lately. And obviously, they're just to get this far in the season, you have to play the way they're playing.
Okay, we have time for one more here in the back on the left.
Ojalá pueda responder también en español y en inglés. Mi pregunta sería, how much does now being in the playoffs changes inside a clubhouse? Because there is a great camaraderie there. Now it changes, everybody's a little bit more serious, or it's the same way like any other season game?
No, I think at least today, I can let you know tomorrow, but we all same guys right there, just happy, and we know these games means probably more. It's not a long season, it's just 5 to 3 games, so we got to go out there and do everything we can to make it happen. And you need to be focused since pitch 1, but I think our attitude is the same. We're just hanging around and talking about how can we win tomorrow. Sí, creo que no, nada ha cambiado hasta hoy. Solo se habla en el clubhouse de ganar. Sabemos que no es una temporada larga, que son 5 y el que gane 3, y que tenemos que estar enfocados desde el primer picheo del juego. Pero hasta el momento nuestra actitud no ha cambiado. Seguimos, como te dije, hablando de ganar, hablando de cómo llegar a base, sin importar quién va a ser el héroe mañana.
Thank you for coming in, Jose.
Thank you.